Hey inmates, this is Styx. Welcome back to the cell block Scorch. I will be reading for you today. This is for week 249A, and the prompt was, "We know you now. Your foul nature, now laid bare, will hold no more sway here." My gut instinct listening to that prompt was that it sounded really quite poetic. It had a certain gravitas that a lot of our prompts don't have, which is valid, because giving a prompt that kind of really solemn, heavy air, it just kind of narrows down what the writers can do for that prompt. So if you're like me, when you're giving prompts, you often try and give a prompt that can be interpreted in multiple ways, and this can too, obviously. It just has that certain, to me, it has a certain weight. Anyway, that being as it was, I decided to stretch myself with the piece that I wrote for this week and base it off of a poetry form. So I will walk you through the actual poetry form and how I adapted it into my piece after I read it for you, but for now, just enjoy. Maybe you'll sense some of the repetition, maybe you won't. Hopefully the story is cohesive on its own. There are large breaks in this piece, so I'm going to see if we can get Bones to put in a ding, or maybe just number them 1 through 6. There should be 6 of these fellows. With that, I hope you're ready to hear my piece, Villanelle for the Dead and Damned. The world sways, or perhaps I sway. A crimson ocean pours out of me, vast and wide and hot. The tide tugs the earth from beneath my feet. Solid stone dissolves under me like the sand on a beach, chasing after the receding waves. Finally, blackness breaks behind my eyes and washes me away. After that, I resurface only for fleeting moments. I steal a breath. I see a light. I feel. Hands on my head, hot breath on my cheek, a cold table beneath my back, a whisper that grows into a scream that cracks into a promise. You know, and I know, and the hands in my split-open chest know that it's too late. Goodbye, I want to tell you. I would tell you. I try to tell you, but my lips don't work. I try to touch your face, but my hands don't work. You'll be fine, you say. But you shouldn't run from the truth. It isn't you, darling. You never run from the truth. You take it and lay it bare. I blink slowly. My eyes slide from the wooden beams in the ceiling above, to the herbs scattered over the counter, to the trail of blood on the floor, to you. You sit with your head in your hands. I'm sorry, you say. I'm so sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I do not know what you're apologizing for. Hesitantly, I sit up. I expect it to hurt, but it doesn't, so I reach for you. Both our hands are still bloody. Easy, love, I say. I brush the hair from your forehead, scooting closer. Easy. I press a kiss to the top of your head. You cut yourself off with a sob. I'm fine, I say. Just like you said, it doesn't even hurt. You shake your head. Look at me. I tangle our fingers together, tugging your hands away from your face, and finally I understand what you've done. Your eyes are black all the way across, I know, and you know, and the pale sun peeking through the window knows what that means. You've turned your power against the gods. You've severed your ties to the divine. I press my fingers firmly into the side of my neck, searching, hoping, praying for a pulse. I find none. The world sways. You wear a blindfold. We continue on our quest, telling anyone who asks that some monster blinded you. My own condition grows harder and harder to hide. The wound in my stomach festers. My skin mottles and turns blue. Flies flock to me, drawn in by a smell that all the perfume in the world can't conceal. You kiss me anyway, pressing your mouth to mine with stubborn determination. But we can't continue like this forever. When the time comes for you to return to your people, I say, I can't come with you. You can, you say. You know and I know, I say, but they can never know what you've done. They won't, you say. You tell me your plan, and I should shriek and run. I should stop you. I've always thought of myself as a good person, but I suppose somewhere deep inside, I have a selfish streak. You take it and lay it bare. This is my 7th body. I take care of them. I try to make them last a long time. That's the least I can do for the people I steal skins from. Treat their spent lives with respect. You have lived far past your natural lifetime. I do not ask how you stay young, and you do not tell me. It's a small mercy, the not knowing. I do not want to know how low I am willing to sink for you. Dying is out of the question for you now. There is no heaven or hell for those who forsake the gods. There is no next life. I think about it sometimes, saying goodbye. I tried to, once, the way I tried the day I died, but it didn't work. You hold the leash that tethers me to this world. Sometimes I hate you for it, but I always, always, always love you anyway. You smile at me, you laugh with me, you cry with me, you hold me fully in the palm of your hand. I cannot resist you anymore. At your command, the world sways. Eventually they come for us. You know, and they know, and I know that it is inevitable. When enough people go missing, people start looking for a villain. When people find a villain, they start looking for a hero. The first of them fail. The second run for their lives. The third and fourth and fifth all fall at your feet, and I hate you for it. I love you for it. I can't bear to lose you for it. You did not always enjoy it, but there comes a point when you have to stop hating what it takes to sustain yourself. Even I've learned to savor some things about our existence. The wind on my cheeks when I first find a fresh body, the copper scent of your potions in the other room, the way that your eyes frighten the rats away, the surprise in the hero's eyes when they run me through and I simply sigh, like a mother who just finished mopping the floor, watching her children track mud across the kitchen. You enjoy it differently. You relish the moment that their grim determination turns to terror. You draw out the battle. In the aftermath you smile. You say that red has always been your color. You scare me sometimes. That's why, when the child comes, I do not tell you. She is a child. I am not eager to see her bleeding from her eyes. The child asks me what I want. I want you to live. I want to be with you. The child asks me when I last wanted something for myself. I do not remember. I am dead, and you raised me from the dead, and so you are my master. I need to go, I tell you. You can't, you won't. Don't leave me here alone. I think of everything I was, everything I am not anymore. I say, you are already alone. You pale as you look at me. I already know you see yourself. After everything you've done to yourself, there is only one thing that can destroy you. You keep it wrapped up in your bedside drawer, where no one can get to it. I watch you lift it out of its box. No more, you say. Your hands shake, but mine are steady. I smile at you. Goodbye. The stone hums with barely contained power within its wrapping. You take it and lay it bare. They write poems and songs about us. Sad songs, mostly. We are a myth now, a story that elders recite over guttering fires. We loved each other too much. That was our sin. It is generous, I think, the way that they tell our tragedy. We were villains, after all. But when the child returned to her own home, alive and unharmed, and began to relay the story, she was still too relieved to be angry. I don't know why I didn't die with you. Perhaps I underestimated your power. Perhaps I underestimated your love. Either way, I wish you had not been so thorough. I am stuck here, as my body rots away with me inside it. But time smooths the edges of my pain like a river stone. Some day my bones will wear away into dust, and my soul will scatter on the wind, and I will be at peace. We may never meet again, but you are woven into me so deeply that no matter what I become, a raindrop in a river, an autumn leaf on the wind, a single grain of sand, I will carry you with me. A melody moves through the treetops, carried on a gentle breeze. In time with the music, the world sways. It takes us and lays us bare. Okay, folks, let's talk poetry. So the piece is called Villanelle for the Dead and Damned, and I based the form off of a villanelle, as you might expect. Villanelles are fascinating and extremely difficult to write. As far as actual villanelles, like poetry, I don't think I've ever written one that I was satisfied with. I find them very challenging. But if you will let me, I will walk you through the basic format of a villanelle. So, you've got 6 total stanzas. I mentioned in my intro, right, that there are 6 different chunks of my story. And the really obvious element of these, which is how you'll be able to identify a villanelle if you're just reading poetry in the wild, is that you have 2 refrains. The first stanza of a villanelle introduces both of these refrains, and the refrains are going to repeat over and over and over and over and over in the poem. The first one is the first line of the first stanza, and the second one is the last line of the first stanza. So in the first stanza, you establish both of those important refrains in a sandwich. In the second stanza, you end the stanza with the first one. The third stanza ends with the second one. The fourth stanza ends with the first one. the 5th stanza ends with the 2nd one. And that sounds super, super complicated. But, if you think of it as like an establishing stanza, right? The sandwich stanza. And then you go top, bottom for the subsequent 4 stanzas. And that's the last line of each. Then in the last stanza, you take both of those refrains and you make them the second to last and last lines. So I'm going to walk you through this as an example from my piece. So my first refrain is "The world sways." My second refrain is "You take it and lay it bare." So these 2 phrases reappear in different contexts through the whole piece. If we're looking at the first section alone, it starts with "The world sways," and it ends with "You take it and lay it bare." The next section ends with "The world sways." The next section ends with "You take it and lay it bare." The next section ends with "The world sways." The next section ends with "You take it and lay it bare." And then the last 2 lines are "The world sways, it takes us and lays us bare." So hopefully maybe we're grasping the basic structure here. You should know that in the poem, every single stanza is 3 lines, except the last one, which is 4. So after your establishing sandwich stanza in the beginning, you'll have 2 original lines in every stanza. Probably this would all make a lot more sense with diagrams. But, you know, here we are. Obviously, I have taken liberties. I have taken liberties with the poetic form because my 6 sections are not even close to the same length. Nothing even resembling like 3 lines, followed by a 4-line final stanza. We're not doing that. I decided not to worry about the length of each section. And I also took a small liberty with the very last line. Instead of "You take it and lay it bare," I wrote "It takes us and lays us bare," which I felt like was close enough. It feels the same, right? Anyway, honestly, this poem, it's not really a poem, it's kind of a poem though. I think that the story itself could have been rendered maybe better in a different format, but I'm pretty proud of the way that it turned out here, especially because it was so experimental for me. I hadn't done something like this before. Yeah. Poetry is cool, y'all. I recently subscribed to the Rattle, and they email me a daily poem every day. And they're pretty cool. I also know for a fact that I am not comprehending most of the ones that I read. So, take everything I say about poetry with a grain of salt. I do think, though, that practicing other writing disciplines helps you become a better writer. Whether you're a poet or a novelist, you need to read wider and practice wider than you think you do, probably. That's another thing that you should take with a grain of salt, because I am just a person with opinions. With that, advice given and caveats established, let's move on to my prompt for the next week, which was... This is actually kind of ironic because I literally just told you that I like to have prompts that can be interpreted in multiple ways, and this is my most specific prompt ever. My prompt is, write a fantasy story featuring one or more live your dreams of the people in our Scorch group. Don't use their real name, I want to guess. So, that one is just a roaring good time. Probably it will be more fun if you have been listening for a long time and have a feel, maybe, of everybody's personalities. Otherwise, it'll just be a really nice piece of fiction for you. From what I remember, Bones won that one, and theirs was very fun. So, thanks for listening to me ramble. Hopefully you learned something. Hopefully you're feeling inspired to go and write some poetry, or maybe fiction, or maybe, whatever other artistic endeavor you may have. Keep those fires burning.
The Cellblock Scorch is a production of Stellacore, an independent group of nerds sharing their obsessions with the world. Links to all our projects, including Instagram, Tumblr, YouTube, Patreon, and Ko-Fi, can be found on our link tree, posted in each episode description. Follow us on Tumblr or Instagram to see the prompt of the day before the episode drops, and a quote from each Scorch the day after. If you would like to support our creative endeavors, you can give a one-time tip to the Ko-Fi of the writer of your favorite Scorches, or check out our Patreon. There, you can access the Scorches and episode transcripts for free, or sign up for Spark level support for $5 a month to gain access to our embers as well.